Hello, beautiful warriors of light. How are you doing?
Hi, soul family. How are you? So before we even start, we have an amazing galactic update for you. The galactics and our guides said to us, there's a lot of calming, there's a lot of reassurance required on Earth. So they said, light some sage, play some music in the beginning. Before even going into the galactic update, they said, just transmit the light codes of peace. So just let's take a few quick seconds to close our eyes. Place your hand on your heart. Take some deep, clearing breaths. Completely let go of the busyness around you. Let go of just 5 minutes ago, let go of 20 minutes later. Just get into this now moment, right now. Let's take a deep breath in together through our noses. So go ahead and breathe in for 5. Hold for 2 seconds and let go for 6. Let's do that again, and the next exhale, we'll exhale with a big sigh. We'll just let it all go, okay? So take a deep breath in. And let it all go. Beautiful. So welcome everyone. We have a galactic update like we mentioned. This video is all about the intense energies that were sent to us, sent to Earth on solstice. The intensity of these solstice energies are being felt by everyone on this planet. Everyone, whether you're awake, whether you're not, whether you're a seasoned light worker, whether you're still an amateur awake, like someone who's just awakened, people are feeling it stronger than ever before. We've been shown, and we're also feeling tangibly, that the energy wave that hit us on December solstice, at the December solstice, was very potent, but not even close compared to the enormity of what hit us for the solstice that just passed. And many of us were in ceremony, so a lot of light was beamed into the darkness within us. I say that again, a lot of light when we were in ceremony, immense light. So not only did the solstice energies come in, but we had our guides, our masters, our angels surrounding us, and this has really brought up a lot. And this is excellent as long as you know how to maneuver, how to navigate these times. So we're going to go in and give you a lot of galactic tips. These are literally, the galactics are taking a lot of interest right now because of how much this information is needed, and also of course how much they love us, because all these energies that are beamed in, we are humans are to a large level unaware of how to even navigate these tumultuous times. So by the end of this video, we hope to really not only just calm you with the energy codes that we're vibrating, and the galactics have actually been filling us with. They literally said this is going to be an energetic transmission. So keep your chakras open for this one.
Our hearts are beaming wide open for you guys, because this is equally an energy transmission in addition to the words that we're going to transmit.
Yes.
And the whole purpose of that is to send stabilizing energies, like Eldora mentioned, to really calm our nervous systems, really help us integrate these codes a lot more easy. A lot of you guys who were with us in the solstice ceremony mentioned that you were out, like you were knocked out cold for the next 24 to 48 hours. People needed a lot of rest to be able to integrate these energies. So if you were one of those who just jump right back to work or life or children, I know there's some things that we just have to get done, but we really need to make our rest, our TLC, our up care, just take care of your bodies, listen to your needs, and just go intuitively. Don't drive yourself crazy moving forward into endless cycles of needing to do more or getting more done or chasing after certain goals that our ego may have presented to us, but rather check in with your heart as to why what is your why for everything that you're doing? Because this is a great time of recalibration. And right now, our whole lives are recalibrating. So we can't just go on cruise control in the direction we were going. We just have to check in with ourselves again, check in with your soul, check in with your higher self, silence your mind for a while, and really reorient all of your intentions as to why you are doing certain things in your life, why are you pursuing certain goals, why are you chasing certain ambitions, and really listen to your heart. Does this still align with my heart, or is it feeling uphill? So we're going to go into more detail into a lot of these concepts because this is becoming very important for humanity right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually loving this update already because of how much our hearts are waiting to transmit these codes. We're also going to give an update on the 3D 5D split, which is very, very tangible, and it's all happening by design. There's a major recalibration and rebalancing going on of the collective consciousness. These were the words that were shown to us. There's a major recalibration going on of the human collective consciousness of 8 billion souls. And so we're going to go into that. Before we go into the update, I just wanted to say thank you all for attending the ceremony with us. It was absolutely magical, the solstice ceremony, magical, very, very powerful. And many of you know, and if you don't already know, I'd love to mention here to you guys for the first time, since you haven't yet tuned into this, that we, Siman and I, launched the Melchizedek Rose Mystery School on the solstice. So that was also very, very exciting, heartwarming, and humbling for us. The Melchizedek Rose Mystery School is an order, is a school that we channel higher information, galactic information directly from the galactics. A lot of this information has been somewhat hidden from Earth. These are tips that we all ought to learn in school, but they've kept hidden and now they're all coming out. For those of you who, so we've launched the Psychic Protection course. For those of you who haven't made it to the Psychic Protection course for any reason, whether it's monetary or otherwise, please know that we have a wide range of offerings that are coming out. We'll have activations, we'll have abundance masterclasses, and we're going to have many price points, and we'll also have installments going forward. So for those of you who did come in, we have a few hundred people who are now on this path with us, who are the first few students of the Melchizedek Rose Mystery School. You guys are doing amazing. Every one of you is doing amazing. Keep going at your own pace. This is not a race. This is not a destination. There is no destination. This is a journey, and don't let yourself get caught in this ego loop of I'm not somewhere. And affirm to yourself right now, you can even say this out loud with me, I am exactly where I need to be. I am in the right place. I am here at the right time. And I am fully supported by my higher self. My guides are always working with me. I am exactly where I'm meant to be.
Exactly. It's very important.
And just allow the vibration of those words to just like bask in your system. Let them be so real that your cells, say this to yourself every day, and let your cells start recognizing the truth in this statement. I am exactly where I'm meant to be right now.
And you know, there's a deep wisdom in what Eldora just mentioned, because when we use our 3D mind or our egoic mind sometimes uses negative words to portray the same reality that we can reformat in the words of our higher self. So when we're feeling down and we're feeling like life has us in a corner and we're feeling a lot of resistance, we may say, oh my God, I'm not getting anywhere. Life seems so challenging. Everything seems to be falling apart. But if we listen to the language of our higher self always programs our cellular DNA in a magical way by using positive reinforcement, because our cells always respond to our commands. We're the masters. So when you're talking to your cells in a negative way, they're going to accept that programming and say, yes, life is hard, and yes, I am in a corner, and yes, things are not working out, yes, because you told me so, you're the master. But when you recognize that you are the master and you can also reorient yourself in the direction of your higher self, then change the programming instructions you're giving to your cells by reformatting and reframing your concepts of reality. And you can say the same thing in a positively reinforcing way. For example, you can say, everything that was not serving my highest good is falling away so beautifully. It's wilting away like old leaves of a flower that are going to blossom into a brand new rosebud. And I'm just going through my journey of a caterpillar, and I'm just about to bloom into a butterfly and take flight. And although this presents to me and brings into the forefront of my consciousness all the things that I feel are no longer aligned, all the things that are presenting themselves as resistance and opportunities of growth, I'm going to seize the day and I'm going to sort through all the things that are not serving me, and I'm going to let them go and make room for more and more of the positive changes that are going to align me with the life of my highest joy. And I'm moving into this exciting new world of new earth where everything is going to be in harmony and things are going to be easier, and I cannot wait to get there. So see, you reframed the same concept, but now your cells are vibrating with joy and ecstasy, and you're suddenly becoming more aligned with your higher self. So it really depends. Are you speaking the language of your ego in despair, or are you speaking the language of your higher self?
I love that.
It's just a choice.
I love that. Okay, so you want to start with the galactic update?
Yeah.
And then, we've covered a little bit already, but we have so much to cover. So why don't you start with that, and then we'll go into.
Absolutely. So the solstice energy, we all felt it, how intense it was. And for a lot of us, when we're in the ceremony, we feel like euphoric. But the next day, we feel like there's a crash. A lot of us experience like nausea, dizziness, headaches, disorientation, because this is all part of the process. We just need to know that when we're flooded with an intense amount of light, and this solstice was one of the highest frequency light codes that we've ever experienced. And like we mentioned, that right now Earth is recoding itself to the diamond codes, which is one of the highest frequencies that are available on Earth so far. So there's many levels of codes, and we went from silver codes to gold codes to diamond codes, and then there's platinum codes. And all of these codices are reinvigorating our DNA, they're reprogramming our cellular structures, and they're also reorienting our mind. So the way we process information is changing, the way we receive information is changing. So an example of that is you may have memory lapses, and that's all because the old 3D paradigm was all based on how I used to do things before are my benchmark for how I'm going to continue to do things. But in 5D, that's no longer valid. That's why many of your past memories are simply going to be deleted. They're simply going to fall on the wayside, and you're no longer going to find them relevant. So if you're having memory lapses, it's just a sign that your brain is reorienting itself, and it's now rewiring to receive higher information, higher knowledge and intuition, and you're going to be processing and channeling a lot of these codices from your higher self. But right now this can all seem a bit confusing and overwhelming because you're not there yet. You're kind of like, you're like the car in the mechanic shop, and you're being rewired right now. So in that state, you can't run in your optimal condition. You just need to sit still and slow down.
And you know what? I want to add another thing to what he just said. Memory lapses, yes. And a lot of you, this might even be showing up as memories. So you might have random memories resurfacing of past lovers, past boyfriends, people you knew in your childhood, and you might be like, why is all of this coming to the surface? We told you this before, like in a few, maybe 6 months ago, but it's important not to attach to these memories. They're not coming for you to say, okay, let me call my old boyfriend, maybe there's something there. That's not guidance. Yeah. Why these memories are coming up is simply because your body is processing all the memory that still hasn't processed. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you got into a really heated argument with someone 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and you never processed the sadness or the hurt or the guilt or the blame that was thrown at you, or how these girls or these boys ganged up and attacked you, or how your mother spoke to you, or how your ex-husband or ex-wife belittled you. If any of this is coming up, It's simply because all of this baggage needs to be fully felt.
Yes.
The I's have to be dotted, the T's have to be crossed. So, and all of this has to be fully felt so that you can process. Your body is like a computer, it's processing all the time. So all of this is processing so that you can now process the lessons from this experience and realize at a quantum level that it wasn't you doing anything wrong. It was simply a soul contract for the both of you to learn some lessons. And now that you've learned those lessons, you can let go of the blame or the resentment or the guilt or the pain. Most of the time I feel it's the pain from that interaction. So all you do is when these these memories come up, just lie down on your bed or your couch or go for a walk, sit down, hold your heart in love and just feel it and say it's okay. All of that is just leaving my system now. That's it. You don't need to do anything more.
Exactly. And the way we used to function in 3D reality is that we never allowed ourselves time to feel anything. We just kept stuffing down our emotions and just moving forward at light speed. Because we were never taught that we're supposed to feel our sadness. In 3D, everyone says, oh, don't cry, it's going to be okay, you're not supposed to cry.
Crying is looked down upon.
Or if you're feeling sad, they'll just try to distract you. Hey, let me take you out for a movie and just stuff that feeling of sadness down and we'll pretend everything's fine and the next day you're back to work. So in 5D, that just doesn't work because what happens in 3D, before we're awakened, we keep stuffing down all of our emotions. We keep stuffing down all the abuse. If someone belittles you, you don't have the courage to face it. You just stuff it down and it becomes a pocket of dark energy in your organs, in your cells, in your membrane. But all of this information from a 5D perspective is still unresolved energy. And now that we're experiencing like a gallon, like a huge torrent of light hitting planet Earth, all of our bodies are reawakening and remembering what information is yet to be processed. So all of this is going to come up to be processed and felt, and sometimes it just feels like random, like, oh my god, I wasn't even thinking about that. That happened 20 years ago. But it's suddenly relevant because unless you give yourself time to process and feel everything, you're not going to be able to move forward.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, and a lot of these light codes that are coming in are also going to be affecting our central nervous system because our central nervous system is currently being upgraded to a more crystalline nervous system. And right now, there's a lot of physical changes taking place within us, but they're not immediately visible when you look at yourself in the mirror. So you may look at yourself like, I'm the same person. You'll notice slight changes like I'm glowing more, I'm looking more happy. But over time, these are going to become physical changes because our bodies are physically morphing into an evolutionary leap. So some of the organs that we used to use in 3D, we're not going to be using them anymore. Our whole internal structures are going to be changing because we're going to be more dependent on light as a sustenance rather than food. And that also brings me to the topic of food. A lot of people are feeling extreme hunger pangs. We're feeling...
Oh my god, we've been eating like crazy. We've been stuffing our faces.
We've gained a few pounds
and
since the last weeks.
Exactly, and if you're going like that, like a roller coaster, or if you're losing weight and then suddenly you're gaining weight, that's fine. We're no longer in 3D where we obsess about the weight gain and every pound, but it's like a cycle. We're going in a cycle. There's an ascension cycle where we feel great, we feel amazing, we feel vibrant, and then there's a descension cycle where we feel like crap, we're processing all the crap, we're eating like shit stuff, we're not going to the gym as much. We haven't gone to the gym in 10 days, and today we are like, we're hitting the gym after this video. So because we're back on our ascension cycle. So remember, for every cycle of descension, that's when you're feeling like crap, you just want to be on your couch, you don't want to eat healthy, you have so much resistance going to the gym. Every time the ascension cycle is higher. So you come out feeling 10 feet tall, but then you go down again a few feet and then you come back feeling 12 feet tall. So don't resist it. Understand the cycles and work with the cycles.
And honor your body's needs because your body has an innate intelligence that's going to guide you. So when you're processing a lot of heavy emotions from the past because of these ascension energies, your body sometimes wants to pack on pounds because unfelt emotions result in more weight because our bodies are simply unable to store all of this information that's resurfacing. So you crave like pastas and rice and meat and more grounding foods.
And this funny thing is, that's how we were. We'd always crave like red meat when we went through crazy ascension energies. And now we're going through a completely different cycle. We cannot even think of meat or chicken or any of that stuff. And we're not talking vegan. We have no judgments on these things. But right now our bodies are literally craving plant food, nourishing food, juices, vegetables, fruits. And the ego wants the French fries, the ego. So it's very important. I made a video on my Instagram yesterday, super potent video. So did he. It's all about getting out of your comfort zone. Your ego, I'm just going to cut it down into a super quick tip. Your ego will push you into your comfort zone. What is your comfort zone? It's eating the heavy foods and the meat and the French fries. Your higher self will push you out of your comfort zone. And what would that be? It'll say, you know what, you're in such a rut already. Don't go deeper into feeling like crap by eating all those dense foods. Get out of it. Get out of your comfort zone and it'll quickly reverse you back. Your higher self will say, go have a juice. Eat light. Eat a nice big salad for dinner. Go to the gym. Go stretch a little bit. Shake. Do some Zumba. So your higher self will push you out of your comfort zone. Your ego will push you into your comfort zone. Remember it that way.
And right now it's a very important reminder that in order to integrate the powerful solstice energies that came in, we have to cleanse our bodies, because otherwise it's just going to become too dense and too heavy for us. And it's going to start resulting in aches and pains and nausea and headaches and disorientation. So if you're feeling that way already, know that that's your body's way of talking to you. It's not a punishment. You're just simply need to reorient and start listening to your body, because your ego, like Eldora mentioned, may be craving like all those dense fast foods, but your higher self wants more of the nourishing vegetables and fruits and clean drinking water. So also focus on your superfoods, detox as much as possible, cleanse as much as possible, and that will help reintegrate these light energies. And your central nervous system right now, as I mentioned, is being upgraded, and it's what happens is when these powerful energies come in, our central nervous system is recalibrating and becoming more crystalline. But when there's too much, when there's an influx of too much galactic energy at the same time in these powerful solstices, then this energy has to be dissipated in other parts of our body. So our central nervous system does its best with its recalibration strategy to send some of this energy into your muscles, into your organs. So that's what results in pain and stiffness, because our organs and our muscles cannot handle so much information at the same time. So that's also one of the reasons grounding becomes so important in these times. So walking barefoot and making sure our central column is going all the way straight down to the center of the earth. And we want to send all this excess energy down our grounding cord. So you want to make sure that if you're feeling like too much intensity, you don't always have to hold it within your body, because it's going to become overwhelming. So use your mind's power and redirect all this golden ascension energy down your grounding cord into the core of earth. But some people may say, well, then I'm not getting the upgrades if I'm sending all of the energy down to earth. That's not true. When you're ready to receive these codes, earth will lovingly send them back to you when you're ready. So this is just a way of like forwarding the excess energy and retrieving it when the time is right, when your body is able to integrate.
So this could be energy of excitement. Like for us, the two of us, we have so much excitement running in our veins at all times that sometimes we have to stay grounded to do the work that we do. So the best way to do what he just said is open your root chakra and literally say, okay guys, I have so much, okay body, I have so much excessive energy, I'm just sending it down to earth. Earth, please lovingly hold it for me. Just hold that energy for me, that energy of creation for me. And when I need it, boom, I can take it back through my grounding cord back up from earth. I want to segue into this because this really came out strong. Be okay with friction, be okay with fallouts, and be okay with conflict in your lives. This is a huge theme right now in the collective. If you're having fallouts with families or your family, your friends, doesn't matter who, your children, your spouse, be okay with it. And one of the things our guide said is say to people, remind everyone that this love light, we have to get along with everyone, is a very misconstrued concept. You don't have to get along with everyone to be an angelic channel. You don't have to get along with everyone to be a good person. There's no such rule of good, right and wrong. One of the things we have found in our journey is even light workers, I don't get along with every light worker. There might be someone with extreme purity of heart. There might be someone with good intentions, but they're not our cup of tea. The same way there might be light workers that almost appear dark. They're not our cup of tea either, and that's okay. So be okay with conflict. That's another thing about friendships and conflicts and all of this happening. So our guides wanted us to break it down into 3 buckets. One bucket is you could be having a conflict because you're both in ego, or all parties are in their ego. When that happens, if you notice that you're in conflict because of an ego war or your own internal demons acting out and your ego getting flared, then what you do is you sit for a week, 2 weeks, and you process all your ego lessons. Say, okay, that's where my ego was out of control. That's where my ego tried to make me feel superior to that other person. Or that's where my ego made me feel like, oh, I'm the light worker and you're unawake or whatever. Learn from those lessons. Now, once you learn from the lessons, it doesn't mean you have to run back to that relationship. You only go back to the relationship if your heart craves it, if your heart wants it, not because your head is saying, hey, you shouldn't have a breakout with that person, the head does not have a say in this. It's always follow your heart. The second thing they said is, one is it could be ego. The second category is it could be something as simple as 2 beautiful people having a fallout because they're just not meant to walk the same path. They have a soul contract to trigger something major between each other and then just dissipate. Hold a vibration of love, compassion, and forgiveness for the other person if this happens, because guess what? Before you guys incarnated, that person probably sat in front of you like a buddy of yours and said, okay man, I'll do this for you. I'll go and I'll create a big blow up in your face. I'll bring the shit up to your face and we'll have a breakout, but that's fine. Once we meet up, once we transition, we'll have a beer. So understand to be okay with soul contract. Be okay with conflict. Don't hold on to these energies of he did this, don't hold on to the energies of resentment, blame, and looking down and judgment. This is very important. The third way, which is the way I feel will automatically stem from your soul, from the deepest recesses of your soul, is let's say you have a conflict with someone and you're both extremely balanced, you know what you're doing, you're mature individuals, and you genuinely have a foundation based on love. You genuinely love each other. There's no competition, there's no envy, there's a genuine sense of love, and you see that one person is completely off, or so you think. Self-reflect and allow yourself in a few weeks, don't rush it. Let's say a month from now, 2 months from now, even 6 months from now, reassess and say, do I have any negative feelings about this person? No. Do I have love for this person in my heart? Yes. Do I want to reach out? Yes. So then go for it. But always follow your heart. This is the most important thing. Many people rush into fixing friendships and fixing relationships because they feel, oh, I'm supposed to fix it. I'm part of this big group and they'll think I'm not a good person. And be okay with conflict. You are not a bad person to have conflict with someone else. Even if you're wrong or you're right, it doesn't matter. Be okay with conflict. This came in strong.
And many light workers are just so averse to conflict that anytime there is a friction in a relationship, they just rush to fix it and put a band-aid, even suppressing their own true feelings. So the message coming in very strongly right now is that a lot of us are holding on to old relationships and old tethers simply because we don't like negativity, because we just want to keep the status quo. We've known this person for so long, and our heart knows that when we pick up the phone and talk to them, it's just a surface conversation. There's no depth anymore because you're growing, you're evolving, and you are craving a more real concepts. You want to talk about evolution and the stars and the galaxies
and the dragons and
they
the
want to talk
unicorns.
about what happened on Netflix last week. So it just becomes like so shallow that your soul kind of starts resenting it. I know resenting is a strong word, but your soul
It
just doesn't
goes,
feel right.
Like when we go to the gym, there's this guy in the gym, that's Siman, you know, and he makes small conversation. And I'm literally like, don't even come near me because I don't want to talk to this person. Why? It's not because I don't like this person. It's not because I have anything against this person. It's simply because I don't want to talk to this person because I don't resonate with his energy and whatnot. So there's no reason to have small talk. That's another thing, guys. I know we're going and giving you a bunch loads of, these are all 5D tips. There's no, so many humans, I feel like there's too many pleasantries in the human consciousness. Hi honey, how are you? Everybody wants to look at each other and give each other a nod, like we got your back. It's so superficial. I do the extreme opposite. If I feel your energy, I'll talk to you. If I don't feel your energy, I'll stay in my lane. I stay in my lane. And you know what? I find that all these surface conversations are meaningless to me. So why do I invest my energy? I don't invest my energy in them. And right now, going into the 3D, 5D split, it's very tangible where people are vibrating.
Exactly.
And this is something I think we should explain, is that if you see someone vibrating in 3D consciousness, yes, we're all past the stage of judgment. Make sure there's no judgment because you were vibrating that not too long ago. I was vibrating that not too long ago. But move away from judgment, of course, but move also into a higher vibrational bucket. You don't have to make small talk with your old friends who've now got the vaccines. Be okay with saying, I am not doing this. You know what? Our conversations are meaningless to me right now. I have shifted. You don't understand my world. I kind of have moved on from your world. My world is not better than your world. But you know what? I want to wrap this relationship up with a bow and let it go.
I let you go in peace, no resentment, no hard feelings. And also many of us are just not being true to our own self. We're just holding on to things that are no longer needed. And you are doing yourself a disservice if you are not being true to yourself. So right now the time is very important. It is actually the survival of our species depends on the very fact of how much we speak our truth. Because the dark forces that have...
Thank you for saying that. Exactly.
The dark forces that have controlled us for so long have instilled, they've brainwashed humanity with this personality type where everybody tries to be liked by others. Okay? So this is done very carefully through systematic programming of society, through TV programs like Friends and like all these characters in our favorite TV shows. They're always like saying these nice bubbly things and it's like a happy family, and
getting
even
along.
their arguments are like, oh, I'm so sorry honey. Like it's very surface, but our true feelings in real life are always being suppressed because we think we're supposed to act nice, we're supposed to be good people, we're supposed to be liked by others. You're not supposed to be anything other than who you truly are. You're a badass warrior of light. You don't need to please anyone. I actually don't care if you like me. I'm saying that out loud. I don't care if you like me because I know in my core who I am, what I stand for, and I'm the only person who I need to be okay with. I could not care less if anyone likes me.
And you're the only person who needs to be okay with you.
Exactly.
Literally.
So let old stories go and stand in your power.
And guys, I also want to say something more about this topic. It is so important for every single one of us right now, and we've been through this 3 or 4 years ago. We had so many friends and our guides, just before we started our YouTube channel, our guides literally said, wrap up all these drama loops and friends. None of them are your true friends. None of them. Like I'm talking about all my friends in Toronto. And our guide said, if you want to put it to test, you can allow yourself to continue wasting your time with them, but your soul contracts are done. You're about to take off on YouTube, and all their shit's gonna come up. Their envy is gonna come up. Their stories of what a bad person you are gonna come up. Do you want to really invest in it? It was the hardest thing to do, you guys. It was the hardest thing to do, and we kind of didn't fully do it, but the universe just blew it up in our faces. Where it said, do you want to continue resisting this guidance or do you want to just let it go? We let all our friends go. This was about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Then we started YouTube. It was the best thing we've ever done, and I'll tell you why. Until we let go of all these meaningless friendships just because we were trying to fill a void within us, saying, let's have a barbecue together, let's go out for a movie together, let's meet on Sunday, let's sit and chit chat. It was taking us away from getting to know who we are at our core. When we let all of that go, that's when Siman and I went on this inner discovery of, whew, all this drama has left us, all this negativity has left us, all these wasteless Sundays, spent with all these friends, maybe smoking weed. So-called friends have left us because none of them were real. We were not real friendships. It was just, we were always imbalanced with giving healings, calling everyone to our house for dinner. And one day we had a conversation, we're like, whoever calls us for dinner, why are we cooking for 20 people all the time just because we're warm, lovely, gracious hosts? This isn't working out. And I said to Siman, why are you giving people healings?
Yeah.
They don't even have gratitude. So we had a wake up call because our guide said reevaluate everything. And that's when we started becoming the badass warriors that we are today.
Yeah.
The warriors that we are today, literally, we're not the love and light warriors. The girl who had the tree nuts at our retreat, many of you know this story, she had nuts the first day. Siman went out of his way to give her a very powerful healing that literally was life and death. She went from passing epileptic shock, and she had passed out on the floor with purple lips. He got her back. 3 days later, the masters were working through him. Christ consciousness was working through him. Every single one of us has this ability. The more we anchor our Christ consciousness, the more healing powers activate within us. It's as simple as that. Because then they can work through you as a clear channel. 3 days later, the same girl in our cacao ceremony picked up that cacao, and she's like, I think I can have this. She was very innocent about it. And I looked at her and I said, if you have that, and if you go into shock again, we're not giving you any healings. You have to fend for yourself. And everybody looked like, what are you doing? Why are you drinking the cacao? And we said, listen, it's 7 o'clock right now. We're going to go at 10 p.m. into our beds. We're not going to keep healing you again and again if you're constantly, making a mockery of this. So it's very important to know that you're not a love and light person. You don't have to be. That's where the love, light, and a bit of fuck you too comes in. That is what Siman and I embody. We embody this in our core. It's even in all our social media. We're love, light, and fuck you too teachers, and it serves us well.
Because too much love and light is also an imbalance. You need a little bit of FU. You need a little bit of a kick in the gut in order to make a transition. And many people are not putting their true core beliefs on the line because they think their whole security net will fall away if they don't.
That's a big one.
So let's say you're in a job and you're like, this is my only way to survive and I don't know what else to do, and you're holding on to that. That's going to be the biggest disservice you can do yourself. Because the transition to 5D, the transition that we're going through right now, requires courage, and it requires us to dive into this deep abyss of the unknown that our mind cannot even comprehend. Yes. And that is that's one of the most scariest things for a human being to face. It's like standing on a precipice of a hill, looking down at complete darkness and void, because to your conscious mind, to your 3D brain, 5D is like a dark void. It cannot possibly comprehend all the things that are about to happen. Although they may be wonderful things once you experience them, but for the mind, it's scary as hell. So if you're holding on to your jobs or old way of doing things because that's just comfortable, that's just your security net, whether you like it or not, I love this quote recently I heard from somewhere, that evolution is not a choice. You're going to evolve or you're going to fall out of this reality. So that's all what the 3D split is about. And falling away from this reality simply means you're going to be shifted into another reality which matches your frequency. All of the new souls that are going to be born on planet Earth from now onwards are all going to be galactic 5D souls. All the new children that are going to be born in the next few years of moving forward from now are all going to be with they're going to be born with all of their innate gifts and abilities already within them. They're going to be coming online very quickly because the frequency of this planet is raising to such a high extent that we simply cannot hold on to our old frequencies anymore. And the only choice is, do you go through this transition with resistance or do you go through it with acceptance? And when we stop resisting the change and go into acceptance, all of your shit will come up in the beginning, but that's okay because that's all part of the process. And when you learn to navigate the waters, then you realize there's so much support. The safety net that 3D provides is just an illusion. You're always going to be safe. You're always going to be provided for.
The safety net that you think 3D provides is just an illusion.
That's the whole trap.
Yes, most people like to do these minimum wage jobs, and they think, oh, this is my safety net. Oh, I make 45 or 50 or 60,000 a year. That's my safety net. When you're on your soul's path, you guys, and you've activated your mastery, you can make $60,000 in one day. And that's 5D. That's 5D. When you're fully surrendered to the magic of the universe, making $100,000 is as simple as, oh, I'm powerful. Yeah. Because I'm powerful, I've activated, I've healed all my shadows, I've healed all my traumas, I've activated from within me, and all of a sudden you become this super powerful person, and you're perfectly balanced in your love, wisdom, power, and all of a sudden you're able to attract unlimited abundance. That's what it means. You're an abundance magnet. Every single one of you is. You just have to activate that. You have to activate to become a match to that. Yeah. And there's something else I want to say here. This guidance came in very strong, you guys. Every single one of you needs to do what Siman and I did. This is my recommendation of getting to know your energy. Why is that? I'll give you a simple example. We launched the Melchizedek Rose Mystery School. We launched the Psychic Protection course. We're in our own bubble. We don't meet people. I don't talk to anybody in the gym, and I don't want to make small talk with anybody. I literally say, hey, I'm not really here to talk to you. I'm here to do my work. If I want to talk to someone, I'll go talk to them, but I'm not into small talk. But I'm a very friendly person. But the thing is, get to know your energy. And while we did all these mystery schools and psychic protection, I found that we had to deal with a web developer in India, completely 3D. His way of speaking, it's like a very negative approach, and we're very particular about the energy that goes into our projects. I'm not saying he was negative, but I'm just saying anytime we speak to someone else, whether they're awakened or not, they're not as positive or as masterful as we are. So at some level, they come across as negative because we've completely let go of negativity to a very large extent in our lives. We word everything positively, we speak positively, we think positively, and we weren't always like this. So I found that it was very hard for us to, like both of us, to manage to continue to ascend and be the beacons and the pillars and have this amazing light and channeling flowing through us while dealing with the web developer. And then we had to deal with so many external people. Who else? We had the web developer. We started speaking to a graphic designer, also like from the 3D world. We started speaking to a social media consultant from our soul family. We started speaking to a person who was helping us the video editing from our soul family. These are all beautiful souls, but what happened is a lot, and then we started speaking to our Telegram admins. So many people's energies started coming into me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not liking this feeling at all. Why? Because I couldn't feel my own energy. There was so many different energies. So this is the guidance. For every one day and also we have an assistant, Lisa. Her energy doesn't conflict with us. By the grace of God, for some reason, Lisa's energy is very cohesive with us. She's super in the flow, and she doesn't get triggered by us. It's very cohesive. But this is the guidance. This is how we got out of it. I said to my guides, it's getting a bit too much for me because I have we're on this very major growth spurt. But at the same time, I said, I'm not liking having to speak to so many people, like texting me, and it's getting too much, and all of this is forward momentum, like social media manager. It's all like head oriented. We don't need a social media manager because we flow. You know what I mean? We don't program our posts. We don't time our posts. So I said, this is getting too much. And this is what our guide said. For every one day that you meet people from the outside, it could be anyone, it could be the highest vibration light worker. They said for every one day that you have external energies, because we also have a housemaid, we have so many people that we interact with. They said, give yourself 3 days with no people. And that's what did it for me. That's how my energy is back. For every one day that you want to be Mr. Nice Guy, respond to your texts, speak to everybody in your world, they said, take 3 days, Eldora, on your own. You and Siman need to be in your own bubble because that's how you can keep going up like a rocket ship. So 3:1 ratio.
Exactly. And this transition to 5D, we're not here to change the world. We're simply here to change the world that we occupy. So that's a very deep teaching.
I love that.
That's a very deep teaching if you pay attention to it. So most of us, when we awaken to our true purpose, we go through the spiritual awakening. It's so exciting, and we want to make all these positive changes in the world, and we're like trying to save people. We're like, hey, don't get the jab and don't do this, and I know I have higher intelligence and I'm getting guidance and you need to do things this way. But then we get so caught up in trying to change our external world that we forget to change what's within. So we are ignoring all of the lessons that are popping up, and we're saying, no, I'm awakened now, it's fine. Like, this is fine, like, I'm a master. And what happens is, then your spiritual ego begins to develop. So your 3D ego gets left behind, and ego is very cunning. It can take so many forms, but it's just gonna smile and say, hey, he didn't get it yet, so I'm still gonna play him like a puppet. So your spiritual ego replaces your 3D ego, because you're so hell-bent on making this world into 5D New Earth that you forget that you're not here to change the world, you're here to change yourself. So what does that really mean? It means that everything is a reflection of what's within you. Your outside is simply going to be reflecting what's within you. So many people are like, how the hell am I supposed to get out of my 3D job and move into my 5D life of bliss and ease? I just don't get it. It's only by doing the work within. When you're constantly focused on releasing all of your negative traumas and all the dense energies and all the emotions that are pent up, your life, when you're actually doing this work and releasing everything out of your system and allowing yourself time to process all of this, your life is going to shift magically, and opportunities and people and new things start to appear in your reality, because now you're reorienting within. Instead of trying to change everyone and everything around you, you're focusing, bringing all your focus back to within. And you're simply realizing, oh my goodness, I still have work to do. I still have to let go of all these old beliefs. I still have to address my spiritual ego that's trying to correct everyone.
And you know, that's what happened after the solstice.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw this in. After the solstice, this happened on a large scale in our soul family. We were shown this psychically, and also a few people verified it. Our soul family loves us, they trust us. When we launched our psychic protection course at $555 US, it brought up a lot of shit, but not in a bad way. That's what I'm so proud of. So many people said, holy shit, like, we love and adore you guys and we trust you guys so much. We now realize that you guys are teaching us how to be abundance magnets.
Yeah.
And literally, two of our Telegram admins, and I'm so proud of them, they literally said, we need to figure out our 3D lives. We're not going to admin for like a few months. We just want to go and figure out how to make money. We want to figure out the 3D business. And I was so overjoyed when I heard this, because this is the highest service I can do as a teacher, is to trigger you to the point, not trigger you in a bad way, but to make you aware to the point that this is the standard of the world. Yeah. This is how the world is. If you are not yet vibrating basic things like how to make money, how to stand in your power, how to have your boundaries, the next steps won't even be presented. So take the time right now to go deep into, whoa, the world is not going to stop for me. Right now we have hundreds of students already moving along with the psychic protection course. There'll be other courses that you do. There'll be other offerings that you do with other teachers. Whatever you do, the world is not going to stop. And that actually is another point that I got. This is another tip. Don't allow yourself to stagnate. In the last week exactly, I put this to test. Do you know everyone doing our psychic protection course? And it's not just because they're doing the psychic protection course. This is just an example. Those who are doing the course are flying high. They're like, oh my God, we're working with our chakras. We're calibrating our light bodies. We're doing this, we're doing that. So they're in the energy of excitement and passion and creation and up-leveling. Those who are not doing anything, like, think of yourself, if you're sitting on your couch saying, well, I have the money to go on a vacation, but I don't have 555 to spend on myself, even though I know it might be the biggest investment I can ever make. You're sitting in a timeline where you're saying, I am not worth it. I am not worth it. I am not deserving of it. And you know what? That amount is too big for me because my investment comes next. I'd rather buy my son or my daughter a $500 gift for their birthday, but this is my investment. And we've been through it.
Yeah.
We've been through it.
We had to overcome all of these challenges and money blocks, and when we realized that investing in our spiritual growth and our well-being is our highest priority, that shifted our whole trajectory. And right now, there's a whole cleansing that's taking place in this planet because the people who are stuck in 3D, who are not evolving, are literally going to be cleansed out of the system. And that brings us to our next point of there's an immense recalibration of the human consciousness taking place. And this is very necessary. So it may seem like there's a lot of chaos and turmoil on this planet, but this is all part of the process. The 3D and 5D split is going to become more and more visible in our daily lives, and people are simply going to phase out of this reality. So many souls that are no longer able to hold the vibration of 5D frequencies that Earth is going to be resonating in moving forward are simply going to be vanishing from your reality. So you may experience that as they're simply no longer in your reality anymore, or a lot of people go through their natural transition after death and they just reincarnate on a different planet. Or so all of this sorting and sifting is part of the plan, because what happens is when the free will of a planet is challenged, a universal law is violated. And when a universal law is violated, the galactics have the right to step in. And right now the galactics have taken full control of this planet. And although it may seem like the dark is still in power in some pockets, all of this is just to reveal who's who, right? So
to repeat, the dark is not in control. The light is in control, but the light is using the dark to magnetize, like to amplify fear, amplify all of this, so that people, it's only when you push people out of their comfort zone that they realize, oh my God, something's gonna give.
Yeah.
I'm in lockdown again, my business was locked down again, okay, this isn't right. So the light is using the dark to bring more of a mass awakening before the final sorting and sifting takes place.
Yeah, and there will come a point where it becomes so clear that we know that this is the ascending, these are the ascending tribes, and these are the 3D tribes that are it's in their soul contract to evolve in a different reality, and that's fine. So this separation is going to become physical, and it's going to become very visible and tangible. And right now you have a choice. Like we said, evolution is not a choice, but you have a choice to make. Do you want to evolve, or do you need more time to evolve? That is your choice, and that's what your whole future depends on.
Do you want to evolve, or are you okay with stagnating? Because right now, guys, there is no time to stagnate.
There's no more time left to waste.
You know what my guides are showing me right now? They're saying when you go in an airplane, the airplane has to go through the dark clouds, through all of that turbulence, and then it reaches still water. It reaches like a very calm, non-turbulent space. They're literally showing this to me right now. So they're like, be that aeroplane. They're even showing me like in an ocean. You know how in the ocean, the first few feet of the water is where the water crashes. It crashes and there's a lot of turbulence and the water's throwing you around in the ocean. And then you go a bit further and all of a sudden it becomes calm. So if your life is turbulent, it means you're just
taking off.
And you have to just break through the dark cloud, break through the turbulence. And once you do, like we've done, it becomes calm terrain. I'm telling you, it literally happens. We've been through so much turbulence in the last 8 years. And then in the last year and a half, it's just been like, finally. And it's getting better and better and better. Every single day, our lives are getting better and better, literally. More aspects of how amazing our life can be are coming into our lives every day. That's because we've gone through the clouds. And if you're in that phase of going through the clouds, have single most focus on your life. Don't try to save everybody around you, because you need to go through the cloud. And trust me, once you go through the turbulence and get to that place of stillness, that's when you help people. That's when you become such a magnet. Your energy will heal people. Right now, many of you are trying to save everyone else, but you're fooling yourself. Sorry to make it so blunt. You're fooling yourself because the only person that needs saving is you. Once you're anchored in your peace, you're anchored in your 5D mastery, you're anchored in you making once you're anchored in your positivity, where you're 95% of the time positive, you have your shit together, everything's great, you can do 25 million times more work. I'm just saying that, like, enormous. Your reach becomes enormous.
Yeah.
So don't kid yourself and try to save everybody else around you, not even your family. Of course, tell people what you think. Be very clear. I'm not taking the vaccine. I'm not in fear. Hey, I know everything's great. Oh, and this is another thing that Siman actually got. I think we talked about it. Okay, guys, this is super important. The guides actually showed Siman this morning that many light workers are so, like, their throat chakra is so closed that they allow 3D to bully them. They allow their families to bully them and say, no, you're wrong, you're a stupid, you're a stupid person, you're unwise, you're foolish, you don't know anything. Please use your voices and don't take shit from anyone anymore. It's like more and more light bulbs who have already activated need to start speaking their truth and saying, I don't care what you think of me. If you think I'm a lunatic, but I know what I'm doing. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't expect you to change, but hey, in my world, everything is great. And start enacting, start embodying that peace, that confidence, because everyone else around you is going to be like, I don't know what pill she's taking, but I want it. Yeah. So it's very important for us all to use our social media, use your voices. Don't say, oh, if I make that post that vaccines are not good, or if I make that post saying I'm not in fear or whatever, everyone's going to hate me. Let them hate you, because your job is not to be liked by people. Your job is to plant a seed, is to light a fire under their asses, so that all those who vibrate the same way as you and who believe you or who understand what you're saying will start coming into your vortex. Otherwise, you're speaking to the wrong people.
Yeah. And whatever needs to fall apart in your life is meant to fall apart. So this is a very, very powerful test to see whether you're going more into 5D or whether you're going more into staying stuck in 3D.
Yes.
When you're moving towards 5D, there's no resistance.
Yes.
It's just easy.
And
everything seems in the flow.
Yes.
Like, for example, when we're making a video, like, I wanted to make a video on superfoods for so long, but it's just not aligning, right? Like, I've even made all the presentation notes and whatever I need to put into it, but it's just like whenever I sit to hit the record button, it's not feeling aligned. So I told my guys, I'm not going to do this until it's fully aligned, because we, as a rule of thumb, we don't do anything in our life until it feels in the flow and until it feels easy.
And guys, that's what being an open channel means. So this is what I said to Siman. I said, okay, on Saturday morning, let's sit down and we'll record the superfoods video. But in our hearts, if we were so stuck on that, this guidance wouldn't even flow. So we said, all right, we're going to make a video this weekend, and you guys, we talked to our higher guides, you tell us what needs to go out. And that's when this came in. They're like, this is the priority. And it's aligned with our hearts. That's why our work is so easy. It's effortless. Yeah. It's effortless. Our work is so easy. It's aligned. We went for breakfast in the morning. Even on the solstice morning, we went for breakfast. We went for a swim in the ocean. We held a ceremony. It's so aligned. It's not hard work.
And we're not in resistance. We're just going with the flow. And this also applies to relationships. It also applies to your job. It also applies to every single aspect of your life. So whether you experience this shift into 5D as chaotic or whether you experience it as bliss really depends on your perspective. If you're constantly feeling resistance but you're still doing things the same way, you're going to feel more and more and more resistance until it becomes blaringly obvious, until all the alarm bells starts shining like bright lights in your face and say, dude, you're not getting the message. This needs to be let go of. Yes. So the cycles become more and more intense the more we resist.
And
sooner we get it, the better.
And one of the things that will really help you with this is take 30 minutes a day in complete silence. Without your phones, without any technology. We do it all the time. Like, we're in silence a lot of the day because that's when we get our guidance. That's when we find our peace. That's when we align to our energy. You go to the mall, you go to a restaurant, you go for breakfast, you're surrounded by the server's energy. There's people wearing masks, there's so much stimulation, there's animals, there's all kinds of things. And then when we come back, we just lie on our couch and we breathe. For 30 to 45 minutes, we don't talk, we just recalibrate to our energy. And then boom, we go on.
We ground and we let go of all the resistance and the negative energies. And this is very important right now. You need to do your light work. You need to meditate. And in the beginning, it may seem like I'm just getting random thoughts and I'm not able to still my mind. It's not about stilling your mind. You just have to be. And the more time you set aside to just be with yourself in your own energy, that's when your energy recalibrates and comes back into harmony. And that's when you start to listen to your higher self, to your guides. Your guidance is always online. It's just that there's so much clutter that you're allowing yourself to be filled with that you can't even access that true guidance because there's so many voices.
And if this wasn't already clear by how we said it, the guidance is not just to meditate. I'm not talking about meditation. Meditation is another basic. It's like you brush your teeth, you meditate every day. I'm talking about taking 30 to 45 minutes, ideally, minimum 30 minutes a day to just lie in silence or sit outside in your balcony in silence. No phone, no nothing. And you're just looking at the birds. You're allowing your nervous system to calibrate. And then if you feel inspiration, write. Your guides will start talking to you, write and say, oh my God. And then tune in, say, what does my body need? What does my body need? What does my body need? And your body will guide you to 5D. Your body will guide you, not your mind, your body. What does my body need? So take that time of reflection and just sitting in silence, guys, every single day. It'll shift you. It will activate you to be a match to 5D way faster than going through it like with all this confusion around you.
So hope all of these tips helped, and do comment and share what your experience was like with these intense solstice energies. And we love you so much.
We love
Until
you guys.
next time.
We love you so much. And honestly, we couldn't do what we do if we didn't feel your love, if we didn't feel this love for you. It's very invisible, but it's very tangible. We're all over. Like even when Saman and I are looking at the camera, our guides say just beam love, just beam love. And that's what we do because we feel it. We feel your love, and we feel so many timelines shifting because of the loving bond that we've created. So if things are hard for you right now, just keep going through the clouds like the airplane, and I promise you, still land of bliss awaits you. I promise you. I love you with all my heart. Be well, family.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.